So I joined the London Museum of Water and Steam in October 2018, which feels like a lifetime ago now. And even before I arrived, they were very open that they were really going through a change process. That became a priority really quite quickly, because it was very clear that the current plan, the business plan, the governance setup wasn't really functioning for us. And that has, because we're independent and we generate our own income, that was having a direct impact on the income line. Just a month before I arrived, there'd been new trustees elected to the board of the museum. There was a real kind of split in the board between which direction they felt the museum ought to go in. And it was at that point that we decided to apply to some support from Prospering Boards, because we really felt having somebody external to help us, support us, and have quite tricky conversations would just give us the right nudge in the right direction and give us kind of confidence and energy and focus in what we needed to do next. Picked to work with Hilary McGowan, who I had several conversations with before we actually started the process of working together, to make sure she was a really good fit, but also to make sure she was up for the challenge, because it wasn't going to be the easiest piece of work. And then we had a half-a-day session before we met together all as a board, and that was just Hilary and myself, and we were all working towards this one away day where we could bring the whole board together for longer than a board meeting for the first time, and actually kind of thrash out some of our issues around governance, direction, the business plan, and kind of come to some conclusions by the end of the day, which we did. I can come back to that. And then Hilary gave us another half a day afterwards to wrap up everything, bring it together, make her suggestions, and has been a supporting ear ever since, which is very kind of her. We as a board often got sidetracked into talking about the nitty-gritty of engineering, and so we now have a drip box, and if somebody starts discussing anything to do with drips or widgets or anything like that, we're like, hang on, put that in the drip box. We're the strategic team. We have a really clear understanding of what the role of a trustee is and how a trustee behaves, and I think that's particularly important where in a small organisation everybody does tend to do everything, but we need our trustees to take a particular set of responsibilities, and so that's one thing that we have really tried to do and embed into our practice as a board. The values that we laid out as a group of trustees, following on from our Prospering Boards Day, one of our bits of homework we got given was to go away and work out our values, and having those 4 values has been absolutely central to every application we've done, every project we've done, whether we decide to open or not, you know, can we afford to do it or not, that all comes back to our values. Genuinely, the work we did on that day has just been the foundation of everything we have done since. And when things have got really tough over the pandemic, and still are really tough, it's the work that we made, the business plan that came out of it, the values we wrote, that's where we return to. So if we hadn't done Prospering Boards, I think we would be a much flabbier organisation, floundering around much more, not having such a clear sense of direction, a clear sense of purpose, and feeling that we can keep going because we know what we're trying to achieve. If you're thinking of going for Prospering Boards, you don't necessarily need to have to know what your outcome is. If you know what your challenge is, that's often enough. And finding what that outcome is. I think sometimes we're so used to applying for things where you have to say what we're going to do. And I felt with Prospering Boards, I was able to say, actually, I want to go through a process with you. I want you to help us think. Secondly, don't be fooled by thinking that 2 days of consultancy is not very much. It is amazing what somebody with skill and knowledge can do and support you in that time. So for us, it's been a real game changer. The work we did on those 2 days has influenced everything we have done ever since. And so go for it. It will make an enormous difference. It really will help.